So we started our practice by learning to notice body awareness and to get that sense of the whole body as one entity. Or sometimes I say one energy field because when you tune into it, it can almost feel like it's vibrating around the edges a little bit. When you really tune into that sensation that's there in the body. But regardless, we practiced feeling the whole body at once and then just noticing the breath coming and going, which is wonderful practice on its own. We can expand that practice a little more and experience everything that's happening in the body with that same attitude of just allowing it to roll in and roll out. Because breath's pretty easy to accept, and we're quite happy to allow breath to come in. In fact, if it didn't, we'd be quite upset. And when it goes out, that's quite nice too. And there's not attachment to that breath, and there's not resistance to it either. So we're not saying, please don't go, please don't leave me, I hate out breath so much. I want to keep that air inside. And we also don't say, oh no, the in-breath came, now I've got to deal with all this oxygen and carbon dioxide. We just enjoy the process. And it's the flow of life just coming through you, coming in and out. It's wonderful. But when emotions or thoughts come, particularly certain types of thoughts or emotions, ones that we call negative, then something different happens. We start to say, oh, get rid of that, get that out of here, I don't want it, it's no good. Or we start to say, oh, I felt so wonderful, don't let it end, I had so many good ideas, my thoughts were so positive yesterday, I want that back. And that's the clinging that the Buddha kept referring to as the source of suffering. That's what he called attachment. So attachment, it's a two-sided coin. One side is that clinging, that wanting to have something or keep something, and the other side is aversion, the desire to avoid or get rid of what we don't see as favourable. And this is how most people run their lives, is that we see that certain types of experiences or interactions or people bring up attachment or bring up desire in us, and we seek those out and we try to keep them. And then others bring up that aversion, that desire to get rid of them. And so those ones we avoid or we try to shift on. When we practice whole body awareness, the same thing can happen. We can get sucked quickly into that cycle. And that cycle there's nothing wrong with that cycle. But what it does is it leads attention, it leads awareness back into this story of past, future, and out of reality. So if you're content to live in that story of past and future, that's fine, carry on. But the fact that you're listening to this would indicate that you're looking for something different. And what you're looking for is reality. It doesn't sound that sexy when I say it like that. Happiness, peace, bliss, enlightenment, they all sound a bit nicer. But to me, it's just reality. We want to see the world and ourselves as it is, as we are. We want to understand that. And to do that, we need to step out of this cycle. So if you take your attention inside now and come back to just feeling your whole body at once, feeling your entire body. And once your attention is on the entire body, I invite you to just notice in that space what thoughts are coming and going, and what emotions as well. So you can feel the whole body. And in the same way that we notice the breath coming in and out, we can pay attention to that space that is the body and see what emotions are there right now. And as you notice those emotions, know that there's no need to call them anything. They don't need a name. What they need is attention. And not attention that's going to get drawn into and lost in that feeling. But that attention of that emotion as one part of the whole body's experience right now. So we're staying zoomed out, like our ocean before. We're staying zoomed out so we can see the crashing waves, which are now the emotions, as a part of that ocean. So we want to feel and experience that emotion in the same way we experience the breath, as a physical sensation, nothing else. It's energy that's there in the body now. And we want to do it from this place of whole body awareness. So right now I can feel my whole body. And within that whole picture, I'm aware of places where there's tension, places where there's upset, places where there's emotion coming and going. And within that awareness, there's also room for thoughts. So we don't need to make thoughts into a problem. We can just experience them as one more element of this experience that we call life. So thoughts come, thoughts go. Some are helpful, some are less so. But regardless, you can just look, just watch them. There's no need to get into that cycle of attachment and aversion. You can just feel the whole body and let thoughts arise and disappear within that. And whereas I think it's helpful to direct attention towards emotions because we tend to ignore them, we don't need to direct special attention towards thoughts because we're lost in them most of the day. What we need to do is let them come and go without resisting in any way. So keep that whole body awareness. Notice what emotions are there within that space. Watch as any thoughts come and go within that space. And just stick with this practice for a few more minutes. And just allow yourself to become comfortable with feeling the whole body at once.